Hello, this is Zach from Gentless. I'm here to explain the 2019 Muck Razer. We're going to go over putting it all together. First thing you're going to want to do is just unpack everything, and I'm going to explain all the items that are in the box. Here we got 22 hex screws. They're the smallest screws in this entire set. These are going to be for the teeth that you put on the drum for the Muck Razer. Okay, 2 screws go onto one tooth, so each tooth gets 2 screws. These 3 right here, these bolts are for the main handle. Okay, so at the bottom of the curve is going to be these 3 bolts. First thing you're going to use in putting together the Muck Razer is going to be these 2 carriage bolts and these 2 thrust bearings. Okay, later we will put on the washer and the nuts for the carriage bolts. The tools that you're going to need to put these together, the Muck Razer together: 1/4 wrench. This will be for the hex screws for the teeth. If you don't want to use a single wrench to put the teeth on, it is much easier to use a drill if you have it, and the nut driver is still a 1/4 size to put the teeth on. Then you're going to need, for the main handle nuts are going to take a 7/16 wrench, and then the nuts for the carriage bolts will be a 3/4 wrench. If you don't have some of these wrenches, or if you don't have a drill or a nut driver, an adjustable wrench like a pliers or a vice grip would definitely do. This is a very easy tool to put together. Just wanted to explain all the tools and nuts and bolts that we're going to need for it. Now we're going to go over to the end caps. So here we got the 2 end caps. This is going to come in the Muck Razer. You're going to want to put these aside. Next we got our Muck Razer teeth. Okay, there's 11 teeth. All right, each tooth gets 2 of those small hex screws. You're going to notice that there's 6 teeth with a similar pattern, and then 5 teeth with a different pattern. How we're going to put this together is just alternate them. So we're going to take one, just to show you here that they alternate. I'm going to line these up together. If you can see that they're alternating, what this is for is that when the Muck Razer is down in the sediment, it's much more of a rigid roll so that you can dig up those roots. Okay, so here's the drum. This is the main rolling aspect of the Muck Razer. This is where you're going to attach your teeth, and your end caps will go on the end of the drums here. What you're going to see is 11 small pre-drilled holes. Okay, this is where one screw goes in to attach to one side of the tooth. Up on the other side, you will see that there is also a pre-drilled hole. So it's very simple. When you put your end cap on, okay, do not put your end cap on first without putting your carriage bolts in, but we'll get to that. So when you put the teeth on later, you're going to put the drill right through the drum and the end cap, which will hold this all together. Okay, so when you pull out your Muck Razer, you're going to have 4 handles that look similar. Okay, 3 are identical, and this is that makes the longer part of your handle. And then there's one that you will see has three holes at the bottom, and this is what's going to connect to your curved handle. Okay, so after you know that, you're going to pull out your curved handle, and this is going to go just like so. First step to put the Muck Razer together, you're going to want to take the end caps, the 2 end caps, the 2 carriage bolts, and the 2 thrust bearings. Okay, and we're going to put this together. Why do we have to do this? Because when you put your teeth on and they drill through this end cap, the end cap is stuck inside the drum. Okay, so you have to put the carriage bolts on first before the teeth. What you're going to do is you're going to take the carriage bolt, and it is going to go through the inside of the end cap, inside out. Okay, so the threads have to be facing outward. Next, you're going to take your thrust bearing. Okay, there is a ridge right here and a flat side on the thrust bearing. You're going to want to take the ridge side so it goes in towards the end cap. All you're going to want to do is just spin that on, and it is flush right to the end of the end cap. Perfect fit. You can tighten it just hand tight. okay? Because later we're gonna put a washer on and then tighten down our carriage bolt nut. You're gonna do this for both end caps. Now the next step, after we got the carriage bolts and thrust bearings in the end cap, we are going to add them, plug them in to the drum. Okay, and end cap in. Now it's going to be relatively loose, but this is alright because the next step is going to be putting the hex screws and our teeth in. Okay, step 3 is going to be putting the teeth on. Now remember, before you put the teeth on, that the carriage bolt and the thrust bearing has to go outwards outside of the cap, because once we put these teeth on, the screw is gonna go through the cap as well. Okay, so we have 2 sets of teeth. There's gonna be 5 in one set and 6 teeth in the other set. Now we're gonna put them on alternatively because they are different. The teeth are coming in differently, so that when we use the roller, it's more of a rigid roll. Okay, so I'm gonna grab one tooth for the end cap. How it's gonna go, okay, I'm gonna just line up my hole through the hole in the drum. After that, I'm gonna grab one of those small 22 hex head. There's 22 of these small screws. We're gonna grab one of these, put it through the pre-drilled hole. Okay, you can move it a little bit and it'll be a tight fit, but then you're going to grab your drill if you have one, or a 1/4 wrench, and that'll take care of this screw. We're going to drill down. Okay, now remember, when you tighten these, it's only going to be snug. Okay, because if you tighten it too much, if you're using a drill, it will make a bigger hole in this drum, which won't have as tight of a fit for your teeth. So after you have one screw in your tooth, you're going to go to the other side. You're going to place your screw in the pre-drilled hole, and then you're going to drill it down as well. Okay, not too tight, just snug. So in your early stages of putting the teeth in, your end cap is going to want to move around on you. So just be aware that before you put each tooth in, that the end cap is flush. Okay, so you're going to have to keep some pressure on the end cap and the drum when you're drilling each of your teeth in. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put another tooth on. The first tooth that I put on was from this pile. This pile of teeth are all identical. This is the pile, they're identical to each other, but we're going to alternate grabbing them and putting them onto the drum. So I'm going to go from our second pile here. When you put the teeth on, make sure that you're putting them on all the same way. Okay? If I put this one on with these flat wavy metal parts facing up, my second one should be put on that way as well. Do not flip the teeth around. Okay? Make sure these metal wavy part of the teeth are all facing the same way. Alright? So we're going to line up the holes, and then we're going to get to drilling. Remember, when you're putting the teeth on the drum, to alternate grabbing from this pile to this pile so that the teeth create a rigid roll. After you have all the teeth on your drum, you are next going to grab the 2 large carriage bolt nuts, and the 2 washers. So you're going to want to grab the curved handle, and how it's going to go. the side that has one hole on it is going to curve in towards the drum, so then you can put your handle together after this step. So we're going to put the hole right through the carriage bolt, right on the drum like that. Okay, then you're going to grab your washer for the carriage bolt, put that on, and then we're going to hand tighten these nuts until we can't. And then we'll use our 3/4 wrench to tighten these down. But remember, this is a rolling tool, so you're going to want to only have it snug. This washer should be able to move just a little bit. Okay, so don't over tighten it. Then we're going to grab our curved handle on the other side, and we're going to put the carriage bolt hole through the carriage bolt, and then we're going to put our washer on, and then our carriage bolt nut. Hand tighten it as much as you can. Grab the drum so it doesn't move, and so you got the curved handle on to the drum, and the curved handle goes up, and then there's 3 holes. Okay, you are going to grab part of the handle, okay, part of the handle that has 3 holes in it. You're going to connect to the curved handle. For this, you're going to need the handle bolts and the 3 bolts nuts right here, and then you're going to need a 7/16 wrench and an adjustable wrench to hold one side as you tighten those. So now we're going to start putting the handle together. The curved handle is going to come around like this, and you will see that the handle pretty much pinches itself, and then there's 3 holes on the outside here, 3 holes in my handle here. Okay, so I'm going to line those holes up, pinch them together, and I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. Okay, so put the hole through. See, if you wanted to start at the bottom, you can, but as you tighten going down, it's going to make the handle work together. Okay, so then I'm going to grab my nut. Okay, so now we are going to grab the top end of the bolt with our pliers or adjustable wrench, and then we're going to tighten our nut with a 7/16 wrench. So just take your time, don't over tighten. Okay. As you see, as I tighten, the curved handle comes together. Okay, so now I'm going to work my other 2 bolts into the handle. 3 holes for 3 bolts. I would definitely start at the top and work down, because as you work down, it pinches the handle together. Okay, get the last one on. Okay, so we got our teeth on, we got our curved handle on, and our first attachment of the handle is all ready to go. Now we've got to put our main handle together. This is quite a long tool, so we're going to need a to lay it on the table, and then just spring clip all of those in, and then put our end cap on. So now just grab any one of those last 3 pieces of the handle you have, because they are all identical. Okay, and the black end cap will be put on at the absolute end. So just pinch the spring clip together, roll them in nicely until they clip out. We're locked in. Grab the other one. Locked in. And the very last one. And you're going to grab your black end cap. Alright. There's the Muck Razer.